Welcome back. Mitzvah number 20. It is a positive commandment to rest from work on the Sabbath. We'll define work soon enough. Let's just read through inside first. Take a look. It is a positive commandment to rest from work on the Sabbath, as Scripture says, but on the seventh day you shall rest. By this commandment we are also ordered and enjoined about our domestic animals, that they should rest from work. To tell a non-Jew to do some work is forbidden by rule of the sages and is called shavus. See the section of negative commandments number 6. After the positive commandments come all the negative commandments. There are more negatives than positives. We'll figure out how to number them later. It is in effect everywhere at every time for both man and woman. So it is a positive commandment to rest from work, is what they say here. Now, the reality is that what we're resting from is not really work, and even the word rest isn't very precise. What we are doing is we are abstaining from creative physical labor. Allow me to explain. It's Shabbos, and I live 2 miles away. I'm staying in a hotel 2 miles away from the local Chabad, whatever it is. So I walked 2 miles on Shabbos. Did a lot of work. It's hot, sweat, work, up hills, down hills, on the way back, up hills, down hills, perfectly permitted. But if I have a business card in my pocket and then I go walking out into the public domain and up hills and down hills, then I've done work, so-called work. That's because work, which when we think about physics, is defined in very physical ways, applying force, etc., right? So that's work, but that's not what's prohibited on Shabbos. What's prohibited on Shabbos is doing any of the 39 categories of labors that were done in the construction of the tabernacle, one of which was transporting materials from place A to place B. So you can't transport materials in the public domain anyway. You can in a private domain in your home, right? But in a public domain, you can't transport materials. That's considered prohibited on Shabbos. It's clearly not work. A business card in my pocket is not work. Up and down hills is work. Up and down stairs is work. Business card in my pocket is not work. So what's prohibited on Shabbos is not work. Rather, it's creative physical labor, doing things that were done in creating the Mishkan. For that matter, not only are we avoiding creative work, but the word abstain is probably a more correct word than rest. Because as we've said, up hills, down hills, up hills, back, forth, schwitz in the sun, that you're allowed to do. It's not resting. It's certainly not resting. And yet you're allowed to do it. What we need to do is to abstain from creative physical labor. Interestingly, in Hebrew, modern Hebrew, the word shvus means to strike, to abstain from work. Shabbos is a day of abstention from creative physical labor. Now, not only does that apply to the humans, it applies to your domestic animals as well. You can't have your animals working for you on Shabbos. And then finally, as mentioned in here, it's prohibited to ask non-Jews to do things for you, right? It'd be really easy to get around the prohibitions of Shabbos. You just tell a non-Jew to do everything for you. That is prohibited except under limited circumstances. For example, tzarchei tzibor, the needs of a tzibor, of a community, of a congregation. The congregation needs something done. A large number of people need something done. And we're not talking about 3 people in your house, right? We're talking about a group of people get together and they need something done, right? So then you can ask a non-Jew to do it. So, right, it's too hot in the sanctuary. Someone can ask Edwin to make it cooler in the sanctuary. You're allowed to ask a non-Jew to do work for you if it is for tzarchei tzibor. There are other exceptions as well. It's a little bit beyond our scope right now. So, to rephrase, it is a positive commandment to abstain from creative physical labor on the Sabbath. That's so that we can follow through on what we talked about in our last mitzvah, which is to sanctify the day and to enjoy the day and to honor the day. Shabbos is a beautiful day. Chill out. No creative physical labor. It's good. It's good for the soul. Thanks. We'll be back next time with the mitzvah of it is a positive commandment to be happy on the festivals. Let's enjoy. Bye-bye.